Yeah. So without further ado, we're going to turn it over to Robert and welcome him properly and let him talk for a few minutes, and then we'll get started. So go ahead, Robert.
Thanks, Chris and Gina. Thanks again for having me on and visiting with everyone again.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so we got a whole mix of different people, I think, in the room, because we did just come off of the big show in Hershey, Pennsylvania. We got a lot of interest there, and one thing I can say about the application and the concept is that it's like compounding interest. Each show I go to, there's a little more interest. We get some videos or some conversations that happen that didn't happen before. So that's real positive and kind of keeps us motivated. And the group that we're aiming for tonight, we kind of target this conversation to be, like you said, getting the most out of Camping.Tools, the mobile app, and because we want everyone to have a great experience. It is learning a new application, and we want to make sure that you understand all the features, and we want to hear from you. Again, our contact us is on the website. If you have any problems or any issues, just send us a contact us. I can guarantee you will get some feedback and an answer on one way or another. But tonight we want to kind of review the application. We'll answer questions along the way. We'll, talk about what ifs, or, if you've used it in a certain way, please speak up. We want this to be an interactive conversation. But we do want to cover all of the capabilities of the app to make sure that, A, where they are, and B, how to use them. So with that, we can get started.
Sounds good. We're going to do a camera spotlight on the app and drive through it one more time, and kind of Gina and I are going to kind of talk a minute about what we've, I guess, learned from it after using it now for about a month, and hopefully it will resonate some with you guys too. About we had to do a mindset change a little bit on what groups are. And we're going to get into that, obviously, but we've all kind of had a thought about what a group is, and groups in social media means something different than what it would here in Camping.Tools, and group means something different within, like, the Riveted Fox community group that we've enjoyed the past several years and things like that. But I think when we dive into this app, understanding how you use this app to preserve and capture your memories and trips, and then having the power to create your own groups to share those memories with at your discretion, is what is powerful about Camping.Tools, and is going to make it become like a must-have travel companion, because that's what we have come to realize is the most exciting thing for us, because you're not just splattering it out there. Some people are fine with splattering it out there everywhere, but other people just want to share it with just a few select friends, and you can do that with that. We've got people inside our community that are traveling together in the summertime, and just a handful of people, and getting together on the weekends or holidays, things like that. Maybe you just want to share those experiences just with that small group, or the entire platform, or the entire Riveted Fox community, or the entire
Camping.Tools community,
whatever. So we're going to get into groups, but I just want to let you know that's what I feel like Gina and I have gotten the most out of the past month or so using it, is that
changing that mindset.
Yeah, changing it from just being, a group is something that I'm going to join, and hopefully they'll accept me, and I'll meet new friends, and you can do all that here too, but you've got the power to create the groups you want to create for sharing the things you want to share, and that's gives you a lot of power, for sure. So
yes.
Well, we got one hand up already, so let's call on Diane real quick, and then we'll dive into the app.
This may be a lot more detailed than what you're prepared for, but I can't get past my profile, but I'm on an Android phone. So I know that's a whole different ballgame. So I should just contact you directly for instructions how to get through that.
Yes, for sure. And we'll get you through it one way or another.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, you mentioned that before, Diane, and we're going to need to get some eyes on what you're talking about and figure out what may or may not be going on. But okay, we're going to change camera angles real quick and then get going on this app.
Can't get out of it.
All right, so you're going to spotlight this one?
I'm working on it.
Okay, so we've done this before, obviously, a few weeks back or so, but we wanted to dive into it again with a little bit of maybe less training of what does what and more like talking a little bit about why you would do a certain thing. And we're still going to show you the whole app as a whole too. But so when you open the app, the first thing that comes to you is your page of trips, because everything starts with trips. So when you open the app, if you have created a trip, you're going to show a list of your trips right here. And we've got 4 trips set up in ours right now. If you haven't created a trip before, this is going to be blank, and it's going to encourage you to create your first trip. And the search bar up here at the top, just so you know, this is there to search your trips. It's not to search the entire app. So like we have a trip that's titled Tetons. So I'm going to type in Tetons, and it filters out to find our trip that's titled the Tetons in Yellowstone. So just know going in that this search bar is for searching your trips. The more trips you go on, the more trips you create, obviously, the more you're going to have in this list that you're going to scroll through. There could be tons and tons there. So that search bar will come in handy once you get a lot of trips in place. But like a lot of apps, there's a button right in the bottom center. This is true for many apps, which is kind of like the primary add button. You push that, it lets you create your trip or create a memory right from that center button. That's why it's a little larger and more prominent, because you're going to be doing a lot of trip creating
Pull
and
it up a
memory
little
creating.
closer so they can see that with it open. There you go.
Yeah, trip or memory. So to create a trip, you would hit that plus button, and then you would hit trip. So once you create a trip, then obviously it shows up in this list, and you upload your photos and all that kind of stuff. But the thing to know when you create a trip, obviously you'll add in a cover photo, give it a trip name. You can put in your descriptions, but the start date and the end date, that might be flexible. Like you may not know the exact end date or the start date, but you still plug something in, and then that's what shows up in the trip for putting it in the right chronological order. And as you start adding memories on the go, the trip that's the most current will show up first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or they can select the one that they're want to add it to.
Mm-hmm. So this main page is where you are creating and capturing your trips and itineraries. And inside of a trip, each trip has its own timeline, which is essentially like a little mini string of posts, so to speak. These are your memories. If you want to add a memory to your timeline, then you do that here, which is essentially like creating a post. We're not using the word post in Camping.Tools. We use the word memory, which is what you're doing when you're out there traveling. So timeline, media is all the pictures that you've uploaded to this particular trip. And you do that, when you click media there, it's going to pull up your photos on your smartphone, the photos from your smartphone. You add those into the app there. Itinerary, here's where you start putting in your waypoints, and you can add your current location as a waypoint. You can search for waypoints. All of those waypoint all that waypoint data is coming from Google, and you build that in based on the days that you've planned to go there and stop and camp, and it all keeps track of it for you. And for us, what we've been used to as a community, and I think lots of RVers would get a benefit out of this, is the ability to update your location and share that with your friends. So when it comes time for you to share your trips with friends or groups, then when they look at your trip and they see your itinerary and they see that you've checked in, they basically know where you are just from looking at your trip information. And that is a big advantage that we all know is powerful as traveling RVers, is to get out and find your friends and connect with them. Lists are, it's pretty straightforward and basic. We don't have any lists set up on this particular trip, but these could be packing list. It could be list of favorite destinations within that trip. It could be a list of the supplies you need. It could be a list of roadside attractions that you've stopped at, whatever. It could just be whatever kind of list you want to create there. And
can I interrupt here for a second?
Yeah.
It also could be a list for, let's say that you were going to travel with a friend on this trip, and you could create that list and share it with that friend, and they could see the list as well.
Yeah.
So like if you were saying, hey, this is what I'm bringing, then the friend could see it and they'd know what they wanted to add to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got, I think I have a list set up on this trip. Yeah. So must see spots. And I don't have any items in it. Well, I don't have any items in it. I thought I did.
Probably started it and didn't finish
But anyway, that's what it looks like when you create lists, and it'll just be a scrolling list there.
And the list is what I start off with, obviously. I mean, when you start planning, the first thing that comes to mind is the packing list. It, drives me nuts to have sticky notes all over the place and note cards, and then you forget something that you really needed. So I would just start with a packing list or whatnot. And once, like you said, once I got it complete, I could share that list with my wife, and then she could import it into her trip and just be working off the same list. The timeline is chronological based on the date that you assign to that memory, or the photo that goes up on that timeline. So, and you can go back and change that date. So you may have a bunch of memories and then 3 months from after the trip, on some rainy weekend, you're going through your photos, you're like, oh, somehow I didn't upload that one to my trip. You can go back and add that in and assign it the right date, and it'll fit right into that timeline chronologically.
And when you dive into each individual memory within a trip, obviously you've got a like button, you've got comments. We'll show that on some other memories in a minute, but you can get a bigger zoomed in picture of the photo, and then you can obviously zoom in too with your fingers. So it does have a lot of feel and characteristics to Post you're used to with other applications you may use, but this is you got to look at it in the kind of layers, so to speak, that each trip has its own timeline and its own set of memories. And that's what is cool, because each trip you go on creates its own memory, and you want to preserve that inside that particular trip. So taking these trips and building them out, this is not visible for everybody on the app to see. So as you start using this app and start building out your trips, don't think that what you're putting in here is going to be visible to everybody on Camping.Tools. It's only yours. That's why it's, it's a travel companion in your pocket. It's right there for you. Then you decide how you want to dive into the app and share it with your friends, family, or groups. So bottom left button is trips. That's what we just went over. Explore. This is where you get into the completeness of the app. And the first thing that comes up when you hit explore is it's listed to all right there. So that means that is all memories and trips and information that you are able to see on Camping.Tools, either from a friend sharing something with you, being a member of a group that's shared publicly with you, or somebody just choosing to create a memory and share it to the public feed of the entire app. So this is anybody and everybody that has posted a memory or created something on Camping.Tools that you're connected with in some way. And as you scroll down through these, this is similar to social media type stuff in the way where you got the context of the post, you can you can comment. This guy wrote a big post, and it tells you, the person that created the memory, whether it was with any other friends or members, to what group it was posted to, and possibly even which trip it was associated with.
Yeah, a couple of little user experience kind of things. So we use the word explore explicitly for that purpose. I mean, it's what you're doing is exploring other people's adventures and activities when you're looking at that all tab. It's there for entertainment. It's there for you to learn, just to find something new and exciting to do. Hopefully that's the goal of that. And as more and more people get on the platform, you're going to start seeing more and more content, obviously, that goes on that tab. Each one of these things that Chris is scrolling through is a memory. And if you, on the main all tab, when you see the memory, to click the like, you just have to touch the heart shape icon. To create a comment, you have to actually drill down into the memory and then click the comment tab, and then you can write a comment on that person's memory post. Maybe you want to ask them how they rigged their RV for a specific overland type dispersed camping opportunity. But when you go in and like it, or when you comment it, that person's going to get a notification, and it's going to say, hey, such and such commented on your memory, and then they're likely going to go back, and that's where your conversation is going to start up. Maybe you find a new friend on the all. And then the functionality on the friends tab and the groups tab is exactly the same. It's just a filtered list of only looking at the stuff that your friends posted, or only looking at the stuff that the groups that you're connected with, what they posted. And then if you want to look at a specific group, you would click on that gray bar at the top and then choose that group. And then you would see the contents of that group.
And you can see not only that, but you can see the members of that group. Takes a second to populate. So you're able to see who's a member of that particular group. And then any trips that have been shared with that group by a member of that group. This is where it gets really powerful and this is a feature that that, hasn't been available, I don't think, for this kind of lifestyle is you can drill down to the specific trip that somebody is on in real time. This isn't like crowdsourced reviews. This is like real time trips that people are enjoying, and they've shared it with our group. And, for instance, right now, this is Nana's Adventures, Bev. She's out at the Albuquerque Balloon Festival right now. And so this is her trip from that balloon fiesta. And she's got her entire itinerary leading up to that balloon fiesta right here. And so as she updates this trip and creates memories, we can see it happening right there in real time, all from within our community group on Camping.Tools, which is pretty cool. And then any memories that are created in any of those trips show up in this list as well. And Gina and I, this is a list of the groups that we have created. If you create groups, this will be the list that you created, or groups that you're a member of. It's a combo list. So like we created the Riveted Fox community, We RV Here, Airstream owners, and boondocking enthusiasts. National Park Fans is Raina and Oscar's group, but we're a member of it. So that's that list. So this will be a all-encompassing list of the groups you either create or are a member of. And to create a group, you click create, you populate in the information, you choose whether you want it to be a private group or a public group. If it's a private group, then it's not searchable in the list, and the only people that would ever be a part of it are people you personally invite. A public group is somebody could find it on Camping.Tools and they could request to join it, and then you have the decision of whether you want to admit them or not. So inside Explore, having the ability to filter your friends, or not filter, but see your friends list. This is also, if you've got somebody that's requested to be a friend, it'll show up here and it'll have the word accept. You can invite friends that are not on Camping.Tools by clicking here. So if you click that, it's going to open up the ability for you to text or airdrop or email people that are not on Camping.Tools that are in your contact list an invite to join you on Camping.Tools. And then if you're in the friends list and you search here at the top, this is right now where you've got to be pretty specific in knowing somebody's name or potentially what their profile name would be in order to find them on the app so that you can send them a friend request. So all is, I don't want to compare it to like a social media feed, but this is where when you open up the app and you click on Explore and it's on all, this is where the most relevant current information is going to be of people that have posted stuff that you're friends with, or public feeds to see.
The private feed will not be there. If you don't check that it can be public, then it will not show up there.
That's a good example. Like, let me show you. If I go into this trip and I go to create a memory and I type in the memory contents, I associate it with a trip. I can choose a waypoint. I could select it to a group, the date, mentions, tags, post to public feed. If I don't select post to public feed right there, the only people that would ever see that memory would be the people that are
get that up closer so they can see it.
Post to public feed right there. The only people that would see that memory would be the people you have shared that trip with, or if you share it to a group, the people that are in that group. And then if you've not shared this trip with anybody, then it's just going to be a memory just for you, kind of like your own personal journal.
But there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people like to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
on that path, you went actually into the trip to create a memory. You can create a memory straight from that plus button on the bottom.
Correct. Yeah.
Now what it does is it tries to save you a little typing. It's assuming that you're entering a memory for the trip that's closest to you. So it's going to pre-select a trip assignment, but you can change what trip that memory is associated with. Or you may choose not to associate it to a trip.
Yeah, like I'm going to do that. So I need to pick a picture.
But that whole idea of the trip, that's the bucket. It's the big folder, or it's the filing drawer, and then all of these other things are folders within the filing drawer.
So I created the memory, typed in some data. I'm not gonna assign it to a trip or a waypoint or a group. The date is today. I'll mention where's Robert? Right there. I'm going to mention Robert, and not going to tag anybody, and I'm going to post it to the public feed. And it'll show up in the Explore All tab in just a second. Refresh the all, and there it is. So that is that's where you would, if you just wanted to put a thought out there, share something with the entire application, everybody that is on Camping.Tools, that's the way you would do that. All right, so we've gone through how to create trips, gone through how to explore the app in feeds and your friends, groups, how to create groups. So taking it to the next level with following along with your friends and getting the most out of how to, I guess, be social with Camping.Tools is following along on your friends' trips and seeing their itineraries one way, but we do have the broadcast feature location, which is very unique to Camping.Tools, to have everything built into one application, the ability to preserve your memories, share them with your friends like you would with other forms of social media, but then also be able to share your location, find your friends, and then use this broadcast feature that's built in for many, many reasons. You can use it for just letting your family know that you've arrived safely to your campground. It could be to look and see where other people are and reach out to them for help if needed, or to just say, hey, I see that you're camping in the Tetons. Where are you? Is the campground good? That kind of stuff. But what we like about it is the ability for social groups like ours and others to encourage the group members to share their broadcaster location, and then you're able to see where your friends are on the map and can connect on the road. That's one of the biggest advantages, I think, of the broadcast feature on Camping.Tools. So to broadcast, you click that blue button, you choose what group you want to broadcast to. We'll broadcast to everybody in the Riveted Fox community. You could even choose, if you didn't want to broadcast to a group and you only wanted to broadcast to certain friends, you could broadcast just to certain friends if you wanted to. And for a duration, right now, 2 hours is the max. Robert is aware that, for social groups like ours, it should be a longer period of time than that. That's coming in future updates. But so you choose that, and then you just hit broadcast. And once it starts broadcasting, you got a little countdown clock right there that shows how long you're broadcasting for. And then in the map, you got an icon that shows up where you are. And when you tap it, anytime you manipulate the map, the icon may disappear for a second and then it'll reload. But so there's us, down there's Robert, and so when you tap on your icon, it shows your last broadcast location from a date and time. And so this is just a great addition to all the other features that are in the app for your trip itineraries and checking in as you travel, and then letting your family and friends know where you are. And some people don't like that. They don't like the fact that, I don't want anybody to know where I'm at. Well, if that's the case, then don't use this feature. But there's a lot of benefit from the social side of seeing where your friends are when you're traveling in an RV, and also updating your location for letting people know you've arrived safely. So that's how the broadcast feature works. If you want to turn it off, you just hit that tap again, or that circle again, and hit end broadcast, and then you can turn it off at your discretion.
You got a question?
The more you zoom in, the more you zoom out, you'll see different icons along the map. And don't, if you manipulate the map, just know that the icons will disappear for a minute. That's the app communicating with Google for getting the location information. So we think the broadcast feature, combined with all the other trip sharing and group creation activities and waypoint itinerary check-ins, that just makes this app so good for staying connected with your friends on the road. Over this last app, real quick. Go ahead. Yep. George, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So I was wondering, when we got the app, we created the account Happy Full Timers. And since nobody knows who that is, I was just wondering, is there to rename our account so that it includes the George and Jill, or Tech Feathers, or, some other way, or do we just delete the account and start over?
How much content do you have in it?
Not much. We just got the app and we've been waiting, to figure out how to use it and all that.
We created one trip,
Yeah.
and I don't even think we finished that trip.
And did you pay for the subscription?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you pay for the subscription, or are you still on the 14-day trial?
I think we paid for the subscription.
I think so. Yeah.
It was longer than 14 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Send me a contact us. Typically we don't. Once the name is created, it's set, and we can guarantee uniqueness. But yeah, send me a contact us with your information, and I'll connect with you after.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Speaking of that, and this is the last part of this we'll show, and then we'll take this screen share off, and then we'll get to you there in a second, Umsy. The profile area is like a lot of applications. This is where your profile lives and where you can make adjustments to it. You can, in the edit profile, is where you change your picture. You can change your your first and last name, type in a little bit of information about your profile, things like that. If you want to change your email, change your password, manage your subscription for paying for the annual subscription or monthly plan, either way. Download media. This is a really powerful part. And what we love about Camping.Tools is all of your content is yours. So you can easily download your media. It does take you to the Camping.Tools website to do that, but that is something that you can do as a user of Camping.Tools, to where your content is yours. And then in the app settings for using your location, once you get your username and password plugged in, you can click remember me. And then that way you won't have to put it in each time with an iPhone and Face ID and Touch ID and those kind of things. It makes it super easy to log into the app. The contact us where Robert's talking about, if anybody's got any questions or technical concerns, click on contact us and it'll take you out to an email, and then you can you can send an email to contact us. Privacy policy, terms of service, deleting account, logging out. If you do want to log out of the app, you do that here, and then you'd have to log back in with your credentials. But notifications, I skipped over that. I didn't mean to. This is where you're going to manage what notifications you want. So if you want a notification about somebody commenting or liking or sharing, mentioning you, inviting you to something, when they broadcast their location, this is where you turn on and off those notifications. And these notifications will come to you through the bell notification on the front page under trips. And it could also come to you in the form of an email or even a push notification on your smartphone lock screen and so forth. But yeah, it is important to create, a profile name that it could be recognizable for you, or something that you like and use other places, or you don't want to get confused by. All right. So we like it. It's professionally built, runs smooth, looks good. It's not complex, but it's got a lot of moving parts to let you really go deep and preserve your memories, and then share them with those that you want to at your discretion. So really, really awesome app. All right, let us switch our cameras back real quick.
Couple of questions.
Yep. Umzi, go ahead.
Hi. Thank you for this, because it really is informative. I have not ventured into the app very much, but I am interested, mostly because I'm stationary for the next couple of months, in creating trips from the past. Am I correct in understanding that I'm able to do that, to pull up memories and all from my past trips?
Yes, you can create past trips. You can upload photos from past trips. When you create memories, you just assign it the date approximately. You get whatever you guess for that, memory, if you wanted to create it for that trip. And whatever date you assign that memory in the create screen, that's where it's going to appear on the timeline.
Okay. And can you change those dates? Because my memory is old age memory. I don't know the exact dates or even possibly the month. Are you able to adjust that when you're creating that trip and you realize, oh, wow, this went on into July rather than stopping in June?
Yes.
Basically.
Yes. In this version, there are a couple of fields that you can't edit. But going forward, you will be able to go back and edit those in a future release. So, but date is something that you can change.
Okay.
You're not forgetful.
You don't know the half of it.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. So I was just sitting here thinking of this as I turned off that camera, and I'm going to do this on the fly. This might flop miserably, but I'm going to ask. So raise your hand if you have an iPhone. Just raise your hand if you have an iPhone. Okay. All right. So let's do this real quick. Okay. Take your iPhone. Does everybody have it with them?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Take your iPhone, go to your photos in your iPhone. Okay. And click on the library button, which is the bottom left button on an iPhone library, and scroll all the way down to the bottom. Okay. This is like a support group or counseling or whatever right now. So I have 10,952 photos in my photo library. Who can beat me? Raise your hand. Does anybody have more than
It's taking me too
10,000?
far to scroll to the back. You told me to go all the way to the back. I'm still scrolling.
No, at the bottom.
Just hit the library button. Hit the library
I did.
button, and then
I did.
and then hit the all photos button, and it'll take you all the way to the very bottom.
It takes me all the way to what's current. My most
Yes.
recent.
Yes. And
So
how
then-
many do you have?
So then scroll down to the bottom of that, and there'll be a count there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, y'all got me beat. I only have 6,700.
Okay. Anybody got more than 10,000?
Do I count?
So Dana's raised her hand. Dana, how many do you have? You're muted. Unmute.
11,001
11,000.
and 200 videos.
Okay. All right. Anybody better than that?
Yes. Can I get to mine?
Anybody got more than 11,000?
Mine won't go because I'm
Come
on the Zoom.
Come on now. 11,000. Hit all photos. There. Oh, okay, Gina? What do you have?
I have 53,438 photos and 2,354 videos.
Yes. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yes, we know that you have a lot of photos.
I can prove it. Do you want to see it?
Okay, so here's my point. Does anybody that have an Android, can they easily find that information? I don't know how to do it on an Android. I just know how to do it on an iPhone. But anyway, my point is, and we all know this, we go out and enjoy the wonderful country. We travel, we snap a bunch of pictures, and all of those pictures get compiled into this photo on our smartphone. And it's a big, long scrolling list. And unless you do a very good job of documenting and putting those photos where they belong, or extracting them out and saving them somehow by your experience, it's just a big death scroll of trying to find your photos to remember that experience. And that is, 10,000 photos, 11,000 photos, 50,000 photos. If you create a trip in Camping.Tools and you use Camping.Tools as your tool, as your travel companion when you're enjoying this, and you dump that photo into that trip, it's automatically cataloging all that for you, and it's preserving it, and it's all there by trip. So you're able to say, when I was in Quartzsite last winter, we had a blast. And you go to that trip, boom, there it is. All your experiences, all your photos, all your memories are right there. And you're still going to have 10,000 photos on your phone. Those photos don't come off your phone, but they are now grouped and preserved within Camping.Tools for your ability to reminisce, go back, look at your experience and enjoy it. And then, you can share that with your friends. We love talking about our experiences. We love sharing our trips and fun that we have on the road, camping and RVing. And you can easily do that with your friends, family, or social groups you're a part of. Much easier than scrolling through 10,000 photos, finding 3 or 4 and texting them to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it all within the
well, the cool part
ability.
about it too is if you're sharing the points of where you've been in that trip, your waypoints, then your family can see that too, and they can see where you've traveled, or your friends, whoever you share that with, they can see where you've traveled as well. And they might see a picture of something that, oh, I want to go there, or, oh, I know somebody who lives 100 miles from there. I should tell them about it. Maybe they've never been there, or whatever. It's bringing what we like to do. It's bringing people together. It's bringing community together, and we can all learn from each other and experience what we're seeing on our travels. And if we're willing to share it publicly or private to our friends and family, then, there's people that don't travel as much as we do as a community, and sometimes they live vicariously through us. So it's pretty cool to be able to share that with your family.
Yeah,
I think.
is. And when you dive deeper into the reasons why you should use Camping.Tools for that, then there's lots of ways you can share your experiences with family and friends besides Camping.Tools. You can use social media. You can use different products and apps that are out there.
But it gets hidden.
But
It gets hidden in social media.
Yeah, it sure does. And how many? I don't know about you guys, but I would easily, instead of scrolling through a lot of stuff that I don't want to see, but am forced to see, or ads, those kind of things, to get rid of all that stuff and be able to only see the content that my friends are creating and are, sharing with me.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of value in that, especially to stay within the lifestyle of camping and RVing. It's an app that's designed specifically for that purpose, and those social minded or common interest friends and
Mm-hmm.
family to do. So it's really cool. Question from Candy. Go ahead.
It's not so much a question as a comment. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, because my bandwidth is low. The thing that I noticed, like when I keep it like a diary in my pocket, so I have like I can mark the tractor trailer supply for the propane, and then look, don't want to go back there. Let me see, how much of a hassle was it to actually live there, and stuff like that. But the thing I like about that is like it's in that trip for me with that specific campground, but I don't have to share it with everybody. So they don't have to go through the little minutia of my note taking, and I can still share the highlights with the public, which I really like. I'm really liking this app, but I am having a struggle here because I am, I have no cell phone signal. I'm doing my T-Mobile Wi-Fi. And so I'm having a real struggle uploading photos and things like that because of I don't know if it doesn't like Wi-Fi or if it needs cellular, or like my phone is on SOS basically.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it will work on SOS. But it's certain actions will take longer than others. Like I have SOS now, because I'm in my basement, and I zoomed into the itinerary. I typed in, I was zoomed into Grand Junction, Colorado, and I typed in dispersed camping. And I got a decent response time. The photo uploads, are going to take a little bit longer, and here's some explanation behind this and then some good news following that. So as you know, phones are getting more and more capable. The cameras are getting better and better, which means the picture sizes are getting bigger and bigger. What we do is we capture the original photo size, thinking that you want to save the original if you really want to blow it up on your computer or whatnot. And then once we receive the original, then we cut it down to smaller versions, and then we can serve it back to you faster after that initial upload. But what we're finding is that that's a long wait screen. So in the immediate term, we're going to add some language to that screen, and then provide a progress indicator to say if you're going to upload 5 photos, it may say 20% complete, meaning that it's got 1 photo out of 5, or it may say 1 of 5 uploaded, and if you leave the screen, upload will stop, and just any text that will give you more information than what you currently have. The downside about that right now is that, yes, it is going to take a little while to upload those photos because we're uploading those original formats. Now, the good news on the tail of that is that's a big issue for us. That's a critical issue for us. We've got to improve that speed, and there's ways to do it, but it will require us reworking the app, and then you just run an update to get an updated version of the app. But we're going to streamline that whole process, and we can get some serious performance improvements so that you're not waiting so long on those initial uploads.
I really wouldn't mind if you let me choose to upload a small version or a medium version of the original photos either. Just so you know, cause I want to dump.
Oh, oh, we lost her.
Yeah,
There's that
she
Wi-Fi
dropped out.
signal.
Oh, man.
Yep. Yeah, I hear what she's coming
Oh.
from. They're probably being able
coming-
to go to a little slower or a little smaller file size of an image to be able to get the upload done.
Speed up the process. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Sorry,
But-
Candy, you blipped there for a second.
But you-
No, it's terrible here. The signal is just really sketchy. Okay, I'm gonna turn my video back off, but thank you, Robert. That was really good.
Sure. Gary, you have a question?
Yeah, I do, because I have the Android phone, and I downloaded the free app, but I wanted to get and do all the camping tools, but I was never able to really figure out how that coupon thing worked and where to go to get it going. Is that still available?
No, but better news on the tail end of that. That code expired. So if you're trying to reuse that code, that's probably why.
Well, I haven't tried to use it since I initially I tried it about 3 or 4 times and just couldn't ever get it to where it would do it. So, I quit trying.
Yeah. So we have a new batch of codes. We can get you one of those and try that out. The better news on the tail end of that, and this is another, very top priority thing. So the order of these priorities is we're going to fix the promo codes and we're going to bring them into the app. The way that we were handling it before is we were letting the Google Store or the Apple Store manage the redemption of the code and the communication to the app, and things weren't syncing up properly on the Google side of things. If you have an Apple, this seemed to be working great. Congratulations to all you people that have Apples. But on the Android side, we did have a problem. So I want to get your contact information before, I'll get it from Chris and Gina.
Okay.
But to send you a new code to see if that works. B is we are and this is work that's going on right now. We are bringing that code management in app. So in the future, you would go to your profile and click on there'll be a redeem code menu option on the left-hand side. And then because we bring that in app, it's no longer managed by the store, we're managing that communication. We'll have a much better, more information for you in the app and resolve those issues of did it or did it not work.
Yeah, there was.
Okay, well, if that's going to happen soon, I can wait for that. Otherwise, if you want to get my contact from Chris and Gina, then we can do that too. Either way.
Okay. We're aiming to have this new version out by November the 1st. I've got to talk to the development team, see if we're on track with that. But that's kind of the timeline. It's the first week of November. And I can get you a new code, right after this call.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
I don't see any more hands up right now. Just wanted to circle back and talk, everybody that has used the app either through the 14-day trial or beyond, Apple or Android, either one. We helped Robert get this thing launched and to market. So we're some of the first people to lay eyes on it and use it. And we really think that's exciting. And it's feature packed right now and has lots of benefit to it, to where the salesman in me is going to say, just buy the thing, just buy it. It's great. It's worth it. Just go ahead and get it. It's it is a great quality product. It's going to help preserve your trips, preserve your memories. It's going to allow you to catalog those 10,000 photos into the trips where they belong. And then you can dive in and start enjoying it like all of us iPhone users are. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Dean has raised his hand. Go ahead, Dean.
Well, I thought about doing just that thing, getting rid of that code and just buying it straight out, but it won't even let me do that because I've got that code in the background somewhere.
Yeah. Well, we're isolating you and don't want you to buy it, Dean. We don't want you to.
We're like, oh no, not Dean.
I'm just kidding. No, it's Robert. I think Dean, you sent in a contact us, I think, so he may have your
several times.
Yeah, he may have
Okay.
your information. So it is a Google Play Store issue for sure on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Robert and his team are aware of it. So they've been working hard to try to get it fixed. But Google's not an easy entity, right, Robert?
It's not as easy as Apple.
No.
We'll leave it at that. But we absolutely will rectify or refund or whatever it is to make you happy on the app. So the biggest thing is that we really appreciate your feedback and your willingness to use it as we're launching this product and while we're making it better. So thank you.
I know that Robert attended the Hershey RV show last month and had tremendous exposure and had a great little spotlight on a couple YouTuber video recaps of the show, and he had a sponsorship of the show, well-placed booth. I mean, he's in the RV industry to stay, and it's an app that is going to enhance your RV experiences and travel for sure. And only better things to come in the future as well. So we're excited as a community. We hope all of you guys are too, that we're partnered with Robert and Camping.Tools and gonna use it as a primary source of sharing experiences and memories with our friends for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Robert, any final words before we wrap it up?
The more posts, the better. If you want to just put a memory out there on the public while you're traveling, that keeps things fresh and keeps people, knowing that the community is growing. Use the contact us page if you're using something, and let me know your real thoughts. These thoughts go on to, we have a long spreadsheet, multiple spreadsheets actually, of things that work well, don't work so well, needs to work, and we're going to prioritize all these things. So the more feedback you give us, it's not going to waste. It's not going into a black hole. I can't guarantee you that all things are going to be addressed in the next version. We do have to prioritize, but that feedback is very important. So we hope you do, even if it's to say, hey, this feature, I kind of like where you're going with it, but it'd be really cool if it did this other thing. So yeah, the more of that, the better. And again, just thanks for everybody for using the app.
Mm-hmm. I think Greg has a question. Go ahead, Greg.
Okay. You keep saying update. Are those going to be automatic, or are we going to have to manually do that?
So you'll see like if you have an iPhone, in your app updates, if you go to the app store, you'd see that there's an update for that app, and you would have to launch that app, that update.
Just like any other app
Yeah.
updates that you do.
You'll manage that with how you want your phone to update. Sometimes so you can set it to do it automatically when it's plugged into power, and on Wi-Fi, your apps will update in the background, or you can manually do it based on your settings.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, that's as those changes come and the new update becomes available within the Apple Store or Google Play Store, then that's when you would go to it and update it, and then you'd have those new changes on your device. Thanks so much, Robert. We enjoy having you as always, and we like doing this with you and for you, and can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, I can't express my thanks enough. So thank you, and y'all have a great night.
All right, thanks everybody for coming. Good to see you.
We
Take
appreciate
care.
you guys.
See you
Have
tomorrow.
a great night.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.